This will be for candidates from the Sheriff's Office, and I guess we should start wherever that microphone is. I think it's down at the end. What are your long-term goals for the Sheriff's Office?
Well, it'd be very nice to have a $11 million budget and the resources from the other bigger counties have. That'd be a great long-term goal. Realistically, I would like to see that we keep moving in the direction that we are. Right now we have a new evidence building that's about ready to be completed. Proud to say that I had a big role in that, and I think that that's the direction we need to be going. So one of the long-term goals is to get that facility up and running and get the lab processes going in that facility and see that the base level of the education of our deputies are increased to advance to even professional in some levels of forensics, some levels of on-scene crime scene investigation. I think that is the direction that the Sheriff's Office and law enforcement as a whole needs to go. Education is always going to be the forefront in everything that we do, so we have to stay true to the times and stay that, make sure that the deputies' education is staying there. So one of the major goals would be just that, bringing up the education and training of the office.
I'm Michael Garcia, Sheriff's Candidate, Democratic Party. My first and foremost goal is to get elected. Yes. And after that goal, and that if I'm successful there, is I'd like to see other avenues or other areas of trying to get revenue into the Sheriff's Office, such as holding some of the federal holds, ICE holds, marshal holds. I'd have to look into that. Housing so many of them, I know I've talked to a few people, and they can they'll pay up to anywhere from $50 to $80 a person per night if they're in there for 5 minutes and out, and that could generate some revenue for this office. And of course, typical, like to get the deputies out and about, but crime dictates how much time we get out in the county. I have some ideas of maybe trying to figure out how to work their schedules or work their how many reports they have to write. If we can alleviate a lot more of that stuff, we can get them back out there in the counties more often, and visiting with the ranchers and the folk that live out there.
Kevin Mundell, Democrat candidate for sheriff here in Albany County. My long-term goals for the Sheriff's Office. Wow, there's a lot of them. But the main ones are training. I'm a big believer in training. I learned that at the Laramie Police Department, and I believe it is what has made the Laramie Police Department and the Albany County Sheriff's Office as good as they are. I want to increase the training for everybody and make sure that if they have a goal that they want to follow, if they want to pursue a certain discipline in law enforcement, that we encourage that and get those people trained up so we have experts in certain fields. Involvement in the community. I stated this before, I would like to see the Sheriff's Office more involved in the community, in the schools. I want to like to see them get involved in DARE. I'd like to see them involved with COPSA. For those of you who don't know what COPSA is, that's Coalition for Prevention of Substance Abuse. I believe the Sheriff's Office can make a big difference there. With SAFE, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, a mentoring program, all of this, I believe the Sheriff's Office needs to get involved more in the community so that we can get the trust of the community even more than what we have right now.
Bob Miller, candidate for Albany County Sheriff Department. I guess my long-term goal would be to reduce crime. Crime's on the rise, and it always has been on the rise. So we need to work towards doing that. Now, how do you reduce crime? You need to increase the education and the training of our officers. Community involvement, I'm with Kevin 100% here. Another long-term goal would be to possibly put a reserve officers program in the Albany County Sheriff's Office. This will quite possibly free up some of our deputies to increase the visibility in the county. It will also make it easier when hiring and appointing a new deputy. You have one trained immediately. And again, you can do it through Explorer programs, through Reserve Deputy programs, and things like that. And I guess that would be the big one. All of it is going towards reducing crime.
Dave O'Malley, Sheriff Candidate. I think one of the real issues, let me start out by saying that I've got a huge amount of respect for the women and men of the Albany County Sheriff's Department. I've worked with and around them for many, many years. It's a fine organization, and I would love to be a part of that. It's one thing that I like to do is get involved as a team and to move forward. Any office has room for improvement, but to sit down as a group and figure out what those things are and move towards them. I want to see an organization that has pride in themselves, deputies that are happy to come to work and enjoy their time there and enjoy being around each other and doing the duties that we have to do, because quite frankly, you know, there's danger out there. Every time I see an officer of any kind and we talk and they leave, the last thing I say is stay safe. I want to be a part of that organization, to move forward, to bring about policies and procedures that are consistent throughout the organization. When you're consistent in your supervisory roles as supervisors, you know what your charge is, it builds confidence in an organization, and you move forward. You know, it seems kind of trite to say, let's put a softball team together, but I'll tell you what, you're working together as a team in a lot of ways, and oftentimes you get to know things about each other a little bit better. So I would like to see an organization, an office there that is just really out there enjoying themselves and treating people with dignity and respect. Thank you.